Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from the respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire and Roku TV. Now, it will be extremely difficult to have any meaningful development of infrastructure with the way the federal government currently does its budgeting processes. Now, that's the view of elder statesman and former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Osoba. He told Channels Television's Ladia Akeredolu on our current affairs program, Newsnight, that because of the faulty budget procedures, no major Class A road in the country is currently motorable or safe.
For the past 20 years, there's no single major road in Nigeria that is safe and motorable. All the major link roads that I will call the motorway or A-class. I will start with Abuja-Lokoja, death trap. Abuja-Kaduna, death trap. Lokoja down to the south, death trap. You come to the southwest, we have been on Ibadan, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ilorin for over 20 years. Now, the express road, which is major and very vital to the entire country because of the ports, is unmotorable. It's not safe. You can spend 10 hours.
You're talking of the Apapa?
Apapa is
on one side.
That one is unpardonable. Then Lagos, Ibadan, Benin, so vital. So when you now budget, you now put 1 billion by the federal government in every state. That is wasted 36 billion to do either minor road or do maintenance. For me, if I were the president, I'll close my eyes. My first year, I want to do Ibadan Benin Road. Pick a major road per zone, or take 2 zones for the first year, another 2 zones for the second year, another 2 zones for the third year, another 2 zones. By the time you do it, you will have done major roads in the country.
For the full interview with Chief Osoba, do watch Newsnight tomorrow, Monday, January 20 at 9 p.m. only on Channels Television. Ahead of the UK-Africa Summit, President Muhammadu Buhari has met with Prince of Wales, Prince Charles. The president was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. The UK-Africa event is expected to bring together African leaders, international business chief executives, and heads of international organizations to create new partnerships that will deliver more investments and jobs to the benefit of people, businesses in African countries and also the United Kingdom. Nigeria is expected to use the summit to project itself as a leading investment destination for new industries, especially with the takeoff of the African Continental Free Trade Area mid-2020. And Equatorial Guinea's Minister for Milestone Petroleum, this is Mr. Gabriel Obiang, he has visited Nigeria with the mission to learn more about processing crude oil in order to replicate the knowledge in his country. He undertook a facility tour of a private modular refinery in Ohaji-Egbema, Imo State, saying that he believes that other countries will visit Nigeria for the same purpose. Leading the entourage is the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, who calls for more partnerships among African countries.
We in Equatorial Guinea believe, and we have been for many years exporting our crude, and for many years have been asking our question, can we do something else with the industry? So clearly the processing of product has been one of them, and rather than go to either Europe or the United States or Asia, we decide we should visit our neighbor. And I'm here seeing how Nigerians are actually developing a refinery of small scale to be able to produce to the population. Our clear mission is to be able to do similarly what you guys are doing here, being able to use our oil not just for exporting but processing it.
This is a typical example of how it should be done, where we learn from each other, what Equatorial Guinea does, what Nigeria does, and then we exchange ideas because we are the only people that can lift this continent out of the present state rather than depending on foreign assistance and aid. And I think my brother, His Excellency from Equatorial Guinea, is actually taking the first step by ensuring that he comes for ground truthing, to see things himself, and then go back and also spread the gospel and work together with Nigeria to extend that cooperation and partnership.
In January 1994, Nigeria started the implementation of value-added tax, VAT. The goal was to make non-oil revenue a significant source of money for the budget. However, in the last 25 years, oil remains the major source of earnings for the Federation. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has confirmed that from the 1st of February, a new value-added tax rate of 7.5% will replace the current rate of 5%. There have been mixed reactions about the implications of the higher VAT rate on consumers, but little has been said about which states will benefit more from the high rate. Now, to discuss the implications of that at the state level with me is Mr. Babajide Ogunsowo, Channels Television's data and information consultant. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Millicent.
All right, now, who are the major beneficiaries, or should I say the real beneficiaries of the higher VAT?
You know, I'd like to take it from this example. The Bureau of Statistics tells us that we have 102 million adults in Nigeria. Majority of these adults will be the ones to pay this additional VAT. But the question on the lips of Nigerians is, after they pay all of this value-added tax, how will this money be shared? So let us assume that the VAT that will be paid by all of the adult Nigerians this year comes to, for purposes of this discussion, 1 million naira. But here's how the Constitution says that 1 million naira should be shared. The federal government will earn only 15%, 150,000 naira. The local governments will earn 35%, 350,000 naira. In other words, half of all the VAT will go to the states. And so the real emphasis and the real beneficiaries of the value-added tax is the 36 states, because they will get, excuse me, half of the money. And the evidence we have today shows that 10 states account for half of all the money that has been collected or that will be collected from VAT. So let's take a look at these 10 states and ask ourselves, why are these 10 states collecting most of the money? Number one on that list is Lagos. In 2019, for instance, Lagos earned over 100 billion naira from value-added tax. In other words, Lagos earned more money from value-added tax than all the states in the Northwest, North Central, Northeast, South combined. Here's the reason. Kano, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, Katsina, Delta, Jigawa, Bauchi, Ogun states, even though they earn a lot of money from value-added tax, the monies from value-added tax are not distributed equally. They are distributed based, some of that money is distributed equally, but a lot of that money is distributed based on the size of your population and how much value-added tax was generated in your states. And so the reason why Lagos State is number one on that rank is because of high population and a lot of VAT is generated from Lagos State.
Perhaps another question on the minds of a lot of people is if the higher VAT will have a negative impact on businesses.
That perhaps will be answered by economists who like to focus on the marginal propensity to consume. But in the layman's terms, two things will happen. There are some businesses that will have lower sales, that is a fact, and some businesses will have no significant change. But here's the opportunity for businesses because of the higher rate. This is the time for businesses to become more innovative. And so even though businesses might see a decline in their sales, for businesses that show innovation and are able to manage and lower their costs, they will survive. But at the end of the day, it's the higher VAT will going to states that generate more and states that create a lot of opportunities, especially productivity. And also we know there's the political side to VAT. You know, people talk about restructuring. I think for the president and his team, this is a big leap towards financial restructuring, because from 5% to 7.5%, most of that money goes to the states. Indeed, 85% of that money goes to the states and the local governments.
So another key thing is also accountability.
Yes, accountability. What you will expect is a lot of consumers are saying, why should we pay for this higher VAT? And what the government needs to do is to boost confidence. We need to, especially that we are still looking at two major elections this year. We have Edo State and we have Ondo State. What we'll expect, for instance, is for candidates that come out in that election to have blueprints for productivity, to be able to boost confidence among citizens, and to also be able to show that money will be well used. But you know, in the final words of final analysis, as I would say, let's remember the words of Winston Churchill. He says that any nation that tries to spend or tries to tax its way to prosperity is like a man who stands in a bucket trying to lift himself up with the handle. And so what this means is that, yes, the higher VAT will provide additional revenue, especially to the states, but what the government needs to do is to ensure that it has a blueprint to grow consumer confidence and to grow business confidence.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. I mean, some people are wary about, is this, or most people worry about paying tax. So how will government, move people to making sure that they pay their tax and also restore that confidence?
And so if we want to be practical, if there's one recommendation I would make, it is that all states' government in every quarter, every state must publish how it uses its value-added tax. That is one major leap towards accountability, showing and making it public. This is how we've used the VAT in our state. That is one big step to boosting confidence and getting more people to pay tax. But let's look at it from another perspective, and that is, if we're to score the transparency in how VAT has been used in the past, and if we take a look at that, will we say it's a goal over the bar or hit the bar? And based on the evidence we have today, that no state makes public how it uses its VAT, it is not a goal, but it hit the bar. What we'll expect is, now that the new VAT will kick off from the 1st of February, let's get states to be accountable and let them publish how this money will be used.
All right, we appreciate your analysis
Please,
on the subject.
Can I have my money back?
Well, Gustavo, you put it there.
I need that to pay my VAT.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure is all mine.